The two men took themselves to the Palace Hotel in Rostov, where they joined a glittering soiree in the hotel's spectacular ballroom. Arriving at the dance amid a sea of fur and diamonds, Hill had a sudden flashback to pre-revolutionary Russia. The revellers were dancing to a lively rendition of The Merry Widow, and in the centre of the ballroom a fountain splashed water into a carp-filled pool. Some of the men were in imperial evening dress, dusted off for the evening, and last worn at the pre-war winter balls of St. Petersburg, but the turmoil of revolution had left its mark on everyone present. Beautiful women wore threadbare blouses and down-at-heel shoes, wrote Hill, yet on their fingers displayed rings or on their necks collars that would have made even a Cartier's assistant mouth water. The glamour of these former ladies of the court was rarely more than skin deep. Most had forsaken all their worldly belongings when they had fled their palaces in fear of their lives. They had the air of duchesses, wrote Hill, and wore luxurious fur coats, but they took good care to keep them fastened, for in most cases anything worn beneath was scanty and painfully shabby. Hill welled up with melancholy as he gazed upon the faded glory. Riley, however, was heartened to see that the old ways had not been entirely extinguished. He clicked his heels and stood to attention as the band gave a rousing performance of the Russian national anthem. I watched Riley's face, wrote Hill, with its long, straight nose, dark, penetrating eyes, large mouth, and black hair brushed back from his forehead, as he sipped Turkish coffee, took an occasional drink of iced water, and with precision smoked one Russian cigarette after another. Hill noticed that Riley was observing everyone like a hawk and making a mental record of everything he saw. These, I knew on the morrow, would appear carefully analysed in his meticulous written reports. As midnight approached, the trumpets of the United Cossack regiments saluted the New Year, and suckling pigs were released into the ballroom to increase the merriment. Hill eventually staggered to his room, bleary-eyed and much the worse for wear, but as he was preparing to go to bed, he heard the strange strains of the old Hunter's March, the regimental tune of the Preborensky regiment, which revived happy memories. He dashed downstairs to the ballroom, dressed in only pyjamas and a Jaeger dressing gown. Something possessed me, he later recalled. Without a word, I beckoned to the leader of the band to follow me, which explains how it came about that the massed bands of the Don Cossacks, followed by a crowd of visitors, marched up and down the corridors and stairs, into the attics and through the kitchens of the Palace Hotel Rostov, led by a short, plump Englishman in a flowing Jaeger dressing gown on New Year's morn 1919. No one among the crowd of revellers would ever have guessed that this short, plump Englishman was in the employ of Britain's Secret Intelligence Service. Hello everybody, welcome to and welcome back to my channel Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark, and welcome back to another instalment of What a Corker. And this time the non-fiction edition, as it is indeed non-fiction November. There's also Dr. November, and the book the passage I just read to you comes from the fantastic book called Russian Roulette, How British Spies Defeated Lenin by Giles Milton, the wonderful Giles Milton, who I thoroughly recommend everybody check out. If you like a good narrative history, few do it better than Mr. Milton. He just picks such wonderfully interesting and engaging stories and times from history and just tells a magnificent yarn. And this one is an absolute corker. I can't recommend it enough. What it does is it starts off with a group of three Englishmen on a cold winter's day watching the arrival of Lenin back into Russia after his period in exile. It also it looks at the British involvement in the murder of Grigory Rasputin, the so-called Mad Monk. And it follows the lives of various Englishmen who become entangled in espionage during the days of the Russian revolutions of 1917. Some of them are well known. People like W. Somerset Maugham, who of course was a spy. Arthur Ransom, the author of Swallows and Amazons, was a journalist and involved in some nefarious activities. The very famous Sidney Riley, or better known as Riley Ace of Spies, Sir Paul Dukes, the Man of 1,000 Faces, Frederick Bailey, the Mission to Tashkent guy. There's a whole fantastic cast of characters. George Hill, who I particularly like, and I'm pretty sure to some degree is a model there for George Smiley by John le Carre, as well as of course elements of Riley, Ace of Spies, being probably some basis for James Bond from Ian Fleming. Just follows all their adventures and how they work to combat Lenin's dastardly plan of global revolution and the threats that the Bolshevik revolution and new Bolshevik government pose to British India. There's wonderful anecdotes and stories within that, and I have to say it's opened up a whole rabbit hole for me to go down, because I've subsequently started reading some of the books published by the adventurers and ne'er-do-wells and spies that are mentioned within the pages of this fantastic history book. So it fits into a lot of prompts this month. I mean, I know we're already 10 days or so in, but you can still pick it up. It will fit in for the last quarter of Historathon. It fits in with Non-Fiction November, and it certainly fits in with the event Dr. November, which is all about looking at espionage writing, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, from the Russian Revolution through to the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. So if you have nothing better to do today, you certainly can't go wrong if you pick up a copy of Russian Roulette, How British Spies Defeated Lenin by Giles Milton. Thank you very much, everybody. Do have a great day, and I shall see you all again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.